I am Galileo Galilei, born on February 15th, 1564, in the city of Pisa in the Duchy of Florence. My story is one of endless curiosity, scientific revolution, and relentless pursuit of truth, even when that truth brought me into direct conflict with powerful institutions. Through trials, triumphs, and sacrifices, I devoted my life to understanding the universe and humanity's place within it. I was the first of 6 children born to Vincenzo Galilei and Giulia Monati. My father, a musician and theorist, was deeply skeptical of established traditions, especially in music theory, and he taught me early on to question authority and think independently. These values would shape the entirety of my life. As a boy, I showed an early aptitude for learning, but my family was not wealthy and my education was a challenge. In 1574, we moved to Florence, where I began my formal education at the monastery of Vallombrosa. The monks admired my intelligence, and for a time, I considered joining the clergy. However, my father had other plans for me. In 1581, at the age of 17, I was sent to the University of Pisa to study medicine, a prestigious and practical field. But as I attended lectures on anatomy and physiology, I found myself drawn not to the human body, but to mathematics and the natural sciences. I was captivated by geometry and the logical precision of numbers, which seemed to unlock the secrets of the universe. My fascination grew, and against my father's wishes, I shifted my focus to mathematics and philosophy, leaving behind the path of medicine. My first major scientific insight came in the Cathedral of Pisa. While watching a lamp swinging back and forth, I noticed something remarkable. Regardless of the size of the arc, the time it took for each swing remained constant. This observation would later lead to my study of pendulum motion and the concept of isochronism, which became the foundation for the development of accurate timekeeping devices. Though I was fascinated by the natural world, my time at the University of Pisa was not easy. I struggled financially and faced resistance from scholars who clung to Aristotle's teachings. After leaving the university without completing my degree in 1585, I returned to Florence and continued my studies independently. I immersed myself in the works of Archimedes and Euclid, learning the power of mathematical reasoning in explaining physical phenomena. In 1589, I secured a position as a lecturer in mathematics at the University of Pisa. It was here that I began challenging the Aristotelian worldview, particularly its physics. Aristotle taught that heavier objects fall faster than lighter ones, but I was skeptical. I conducted experiments. Some say I dropped objects of different masses from the Leaning Tower of Pisa, though this story may be apocryphal. Regardless, my findings were clear. All objects, regardless of their weight, fall at the same rate in the absence of air resistance. These experiments marked the beginning of my lifelong commitment to empirical observation and experimentation. I sought to test ideas against nature itself, not simply accept the doctrines of ancient authorities. However, my challenges to Aristotle earned me enemies among conservative scholars, and I eventually left Pisa. In 1592, I was appointed to the University of Padua, part of the Venetian Republic. This was a turning point in my life. Padua offered me intellectual freedom and financial stability, and it was here that I spent 18 years teaching, researching, and inventing. I designed improved versions of the military compass, which became widely used by the Venetian army, and I studied the mechanics of motion, laying the groundwork for modern physics. In 1609, my life took another dramatic turn. I learned of a new Dutch invention, the telescope. Though the original device was rudimentary, I saw its potential and built my own version, improving its magnification significantly. With this tool, I turned my eyes to the heavens and made discoveries that would shatter centuries-old beliefs. When I pointed my telescope at the moon, I saw mountains, valleys, and craters, evidence that the moon was not the smooth, perfect sphere described by Aristotle. I observed the Milky Way, revealing it to be composed of countless stars. I discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter, which I named the Medicean stars in honor of my patrons, the powerful Medici family. These moons, later known as the Galilean moons, proved that not everything revolved around the Earth. I also observed the phases of Venus, which provided undeniable evidence for the heliocentric model proposed by Copernicus. According to this model, the planets, including Earth, orbit the Sun. These findings directly contradicted the geocentric model endorsed by the Catholic Church and the teachings of Aristotle and Ptolemy. In 1610, I published Sidereus Nuncius, the Starry Messenger, detailing my discoveries. The book caused a sensation. I became famous across Europe, celebrated as a revolutionary thinker. But fame came with danger. My support for heliocentrism began to draw the attention of the Church, which saw the Copernican theory as a threat to biblical teachings. In 1616, the Church formally declared heliocentrism heretical. I was summoned to Rome and warned not to promote or teach the Copernican model. I agreed to remain silent, though privately I continued my studies. I believed that science and religion could coexist, that the Bible was not meant to dictate scientific truths. When my friend and supporter, Cardinal Maffeo Barberini, became Pope Urban VIII in 1623, I saw an opportunity to revisit the debate. In 1632, I published Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems, a book that presented the geocentric and heliocentric models as a dialogue between three characters. Though I attempted to present the work as balanced, it was clear that the heliocentric model was more persuasive. The character defending the geocentric view came across as simplistic, even foolish, which infuriated Pope Urban VIII, who believed he was being mocked. The backlash was swift. In 1633, I was summoned before the Roman Inquisition. I was accused of heresy, interrogated for weeks, and threatened with torture. Under immense pressure, I recanted my support for heliocentrism. Legend has it that after my recantation, I whispered, "Eper si move," and yet it moves, affirming my belief that the Earth does indeed move around the Sun. Whether this is true or not, my recantation marked one of the most painful moments of my life. I was sentenced to house arrest for the remainder of my life. Confined to my villa in Arcetri near Florence, I continued to work in secret. My blindness, caused by years of telescope work and advancing age, did not deter me. In 1638, I completed discourses and mathematical demonstrations relating to two new sciences, a masterpiece that summarized my work in mechanics and motion. This book laid the foundation for modern physics and profoundly influenced scientists like Isaac Newton. I passed away on January 8th, 1642, at the age of 77. Though my body was confined, my ideas were not. My work transformed our understanding of the universe and established the scientific method as the cornerstone of inquiry. Centuries later, the Church would acknowledge the validity of my discoveries, a vindication of my life's work. I am Galileo Galilei, a seeker of truth who dared to challenge the cosmos. My journey was one of relentless curiosity, unwavering faith in reason, and a belief that the universe is a book written in the language of mathematics, waiting to be read by those who dare to look.